Morning. Out in the weed patch with our container ship buddies out here. Hopefully we'll get into them. We jump in the water around this weed patch, hoping to see mahi-mahi or other fish, but man, we were shocked at the number of lesser amberjack and triple tail. Most of them pretty small, but really, really cool to see this huge number of fish. And they were not afraid of us. You can see these guys swimming right up. Let me touch them.
Touch them?
Yeah. After stopping to check out that weed patch, we continued on out to a spot that's about 16 miles off the coast. It took us a little while to run there, but this is the first drop. Visibility's pretty good. We're dropping here. This is about 80 feet deep, this location. You can see lots of life, lots of African brown snapper coming in. They're a little nervous. There's some bigger fish I see on this drop that I I'm not able to get a shot at. That fish there at the top of the screen and that one that passes, but just twitchy enough makes it difficult. Lost the spear. I don't know. I think it hung up. I did a pass through, and I think the spear got hung up on rocks on the other side of the fish, and I was fighting it. The fish was pulling too. I thought I had it free and clear. Mine came undone. I hate this line. I think this line is the cause, but let's look. Look.
I'll do it.
Straighten the swivel. Look at that.
Is it flipped all the way?
Probably not. Gosh dang it. Went back and analyzed the footage here, and this fish is close. I do shoot. You can see almost to the edge of the shooting line. You can see there's two different color lines. There's an orange and a yellow. And the spear does get caught up here, and the fish slides up to that junction. You can see orange on one side of the fish, yellow on the other, and you can see on the left-hand side the transition from line to spear. So the spear came loose and did get unhooked from the bottom, but I cannot imagine what happened here. The swivel went into the fish, and the inside of that fish opened up the swivel, and the swivel was able to straighten. After it opened, somehow the bones in the fish, or as it entered the fish, it opened up that swivel and it was able to straighten out. Never in my history of spearfishing have I seen that happen.
I think anytime now it'll be off to your left a little.
You can hear Michael giving me some instructions. We're trying to kind of hit that same location, trying to find that spear that got lost, and even hoping possibly that the fish was on there. In water this deep, with some current wind pushing, we were not able to find that fish, unfortunately. I hate injuring or losing fish. It's a heartbreaker. When I was breathing up to take this drop, you could see all of those jacks swimming by, and as I hit the bottom, they come in really close and kind of vortex around me. This huge cloud of jacks were really cool. Luckily for them, they were not on the shoot list for the day. We were after these African brown snapper. I do make an exception for this amberjack, as I don't want to go up empty-handed. You can also see these jellyfish throughout the clip. All day we were seeing them. Really beautiful, large. They're called blue blubber jellyfish. They're harmless, but they're quite large, and they were all over as we were diving this day. And as always, dispatching the fish and bleeding it as soon as we get our hands on it is something that we always do.
Just outside edge.
So get to the bottom here, you can also see all of the different clutter from some of the net fishermen. You can see it in some of the previous clips, but this one really just shows, man, how many ghost nets get lost at this site. It's a popular spot. It's got a lot of fish, and unfortunately, some of these net fishermen get their gear caught and lost on the bottom. It's a little bit longer of a shot. I hit this fish in the spine and kind of immobilize it, but I almost get tangled on the bottom on this rope, part of this ghost net. It's lost on the bottom. Luckily, I've still got enough breath hold to swim over and get him loose. Was diving really well this day. Minute 45, 78 feet deep. This was pretty typical for the day. I think the deepest I hit for the day was 81. But it's really kind of strange that the week before I was hitting about a minute 30 was what I was doing, and just dive with what's comfortable. And some days feel more comfortable than others.
Boys, anybody? How about share? Mina fish. Portoman fish. Yes. Luca. You know, see the Portoman fish. Look.
That was a really funny interaction. Unfortunately, the camera didn't pick up his belly laughter. He was laughing and just kind of joking back and forth. We did move spots. We don't like to be right next to fishermen. You saw the big boat had like 3 or 4 canoes on top of it. They'll bring out like a shuttle boat that will then drop off those smaller boats, and there'll be lots and lots of lines and hooks in the water. And so we try to avoid those fishing boats. So we just decided to motor to a spot that was about 2 miles from that last spot.
this guy did try to bite me.
These barracudas can be aggressive. This is from a previous encounter that I had where this barracuda, about the same size, really small, was able to bite through my 3mm wetsuit and able to give me some small puncture marks even through that. I can't imagine what it would be like to be bit by a big one. Say anytime from now, once you're comfortable.
Just come down 6 inches.
I had a few questions about the drop weight, and I was gonna kind of just walk you through what happens here. We get set up, get close to the spot, look at what the drift's doing, and Michael nods his head right there, and I drop the weight. The weight's tied off to the boat, and it just helps reduce the effort to go the first 60 feet or so, and helps give you a little bit more breath hold as you're down. We're really careful. I wouldn't recommend this for new divers. And we don't use this to go to depths that we're not comfortable diving without, but it just helps extend your bottom time. We also dive with no weight belts when we're doing this, so it helps coming back up. You've got less resistance, and so it's just less effort up, less effort down, extends the breath hold a little bit.
Just come down 6 inches.
This is the same dive of me dropping Michael down just from his perspective as he goes down and carries that weight down and lets go. Michael opts to bring this bigger barracuda in from the boat, reducing his risk of getting bit.
He's too little, throw him back. What do you think, Michael?
I should definitely toss it back. Get a bigger one next time.
You got him. Nice.
The amount of bait that this spot has was incredible. I wish I would have got some better footage than just this, but almost every time we would get ready to drop, there was huge clouds of bait fish. And we didn't see as many of the larger African brown snapper on this spot. Lots of barracuda and lots of other fish, and we did see some here, but I think we only got barracuda off of this spot. In addition to the barracuda, I am able to pull this one, a little bit nicer size amberjack off of this spot. We decided to check one more spot before heading home. It's shallower, only about 60 feet and closer to shore, and so the visibility is not nearly as good. It's a spot that we haven't dove before. The GPS we got from somebody didn't see much structure, but there was life on it. There was some cuta that came in, and I was able to pick up one last fish. I do get muzzle wrapped here. This, I think, is, for me, this is the only time it's ever happened with this gun. That line just got wrapped around that eye guard, and had to untangle it.
All right, the fish have been on ice. Help that fillet firm up. We're gonna go ahead and clean this amberjack and pull some sushi blocks. Whether we're not sure what we're gonna do yet, maybe ceviche or maybe some sushi rolls. We'll see. But I'll show you how we're gonna pull this sushi block.
So nothing too new here. Run that fillet knife right along the top of the fish, across the tail, underneath the gill, up to the top of the head. Start working that knife along the bones. I do like to run the knife along the bottom here just to make that fillet disconnect a little easier. I grab a heavier duty knife to cut through the pin bones, and then it's over to Michael's station for pulling the skin off and portioning. Cut this into a top and bottom loin, get rid of those pin bones, and the top loin there is what we use for sushi. A little piece of skin left there, and cut off the blood meat, and then cut these into nice pieces that we use for sushi.
That's it. That's that top loin, and I'll show you how we take care of that. If we're gonna eat it raw, there's a certain way we take care of it. I'll show you in the kitchen. All right, got the fish in the kitchen. It's pretty simple. Water is your enemy, so you want to make sure that the fish is really dry. And I wrap it, I've already kind of dried it off a little bit, and I wrap it up in paper towels. And to keep it nice and dry. And I'll actually change these paper towels. I just wrap it up like this, put it in a Ziploc bag, and change out the paper towels. Probably every day. It depends on how long. I usually like to eat the raw fish within a couple days, but if you're changing out the paper towels and keeping it nice and dry, it'll last a week. So we'll just put this in the fridge, and we'll see it when it's time to eat it. All right, here we are in the kitchen. Got the fish here, wrapped up like I showed you. I've changed the paper towel once to kind of ensure that that fish stays nice and dry. And we're gonna go ahead and cut it up and make some ceviche. So step one is to cut it very similar to how we made the poke bowls, in like 1/2 inch cubes, 1 centimeter cubes roughly. So I'll go ahead and start there. We'll cube up the meat. Next step.
All right, so we've got our chopped fish, and we're just gonna want to put it in this bowl, and we're going to cover it with lemon juice or lime juice. I actually have a mix here, and this is what kind of denatures the proteins. Are frozen like cubes of lime that we got fresh here, and then I had some kind of 100% lime juice, and you're just going to want to mostly cover it. Doesn't have to be perfect, and it will denature the protein so that it'll be kind of cooked, safe to eat. And so we leave it like this in the fridge for about an hour. You can go longer, and then once that's done, we'll drain off the excess. But you can see that the color of the fish has changed, so it looks more like a cooked fish. So we're going to drain this, and then we're going to add our veggies. Some of the lime juice for flavor. And so we have cucumber, we have onion, and we have green onion. What we really like to add is something like a fruit like pineapple or mango when they're in season, but neither of those are in season right now. And avocado, same with that. We're waiting till like January when we start seeing those fruits back in season. Just mix it up. Add some salt and pepper, and then we're gonna taste it.
Oh, it has a sign. No, super. I'm the super. Oh, that's nice, hero. I'm the super.
It's good.
I think it's probably gonna need some spice. We usually like to add some type of hot sauce. You can do Cholula, Tapatio. Our favorite is like a really good like homemade red hot sauce is the best, but we'll have to do with something off the shelf. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us.
If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.